You're listening to the Abolitionist Round Table, patriotic Black American conservatism, with your hosts, Del, Phil, and Janice, leading the charge and advancing the 4%. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600.
And we are back. And what I wanted to do was get
Let her make an announcement too that about her.
Oh yes,
she's yeah. So we want to make an announcement about that.
Yeah, go ahead and you got the.
The mayor has it too. Yeah. Because at the end we might, but she can announce it at the end.
Well, today is the day of the second annual solemn prayer assembly that I'm emceeing. Mm-hmm. Pastor Levon Ewell is going to be keynote speaking, and we're going to have Dr. Monica Miller, as well as a number of other pastors and clergy speaking on behalf of the three important battlegrounds that we believe in, and that is, number one, the protection of life, the protection of marriage, and the praying for the persecuted Christian church around the world. These are such important key concepts, and we are going to ask God to forgive us for the damage that we have done to this world by not standing up for these godly principles of life and marriage and defending people who are being persecuted for their faith around the world.
You know, I want to ask a question. I've seen this, and a Pastor Hagee said this right here. He said, "Is God going to apologize to Sodom and Gomorrah, or is judgment going to have to come to, or is he going to judge America?" So judgment has to come to us. Judgment is coming to America. God is not going to apologize to Sodom and Gomorrah. Right. But we people that's in office right now, it has led us to this right here. And this is the most important thing that we can do. We can't control, quote unquote, the president, but the Congress has to. We have to pray for these men, according to 1 Timothy 2:1. Pray for those that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceful life in all godliness and honesty. But it says that we have to pray for kings and those that are in authority. We have to pray for these men's hearts to be changed. Yeah. We have to. Then, once we pray for them, we got to go and do our due diligence.
But the solemn prayer assembly is being held in Lansing at the Capitol between 2 and 4 today, and I would encourage the entire audience to join us in asking God for for
Yes.
Is it a website that they have?
They really don't have a website. They have the flyer that's been circulated around, and for more information, you can call Slavka Zabrodsky at 517-897-0245.
Yeah, we'll get that number again before we go up there.
And that's 2 to 4 this afternoon in Lansing.
Right. What you said about praying for, the kings. Did you so you can change hearts and minds? Did you catch the sound bite with Hillary Clinton when she said
she's not interested?
She's not interested in changing hearts and minds.
No.
See, that's been our philosophy. That we understand that the law has been made, so we have to change people so that you don't need that law. But you notice that there are many laws on the books. The laws that are not needed, they're still on the books. The laws that are needed, they won't allow us to put them on there because they're saying, well, you're taking somebody's civil right.
Yeah.
You're infringing on somebody else's civil, but they care absolutely nothing about infringing on your and my civil rights, our constitutionally guaranteed right of religious liberty, freedom of speech, and the freedom to assemble when and where we get ready. That's supposed to be in our guaranteed Constitution. They've taken that away from us. Because if you don't believe it, go out there and stand in front of an abortion clinic and see how fast a policeman will be there trying to find out what your intentions are.
Well, Donald Trump's immigration reform plan is based upon 3 premises. A nation without borders is not a nation. Yes. A nation without laws is not a nation. And a nation that doesn't serve its own citizens is not a nation.
Exactly right.
So that's just the focus on where we need to get back we need to get back to the focus of becoming a nation that is based upon, as Michael Savage says, border language and culture.
How do we get there? You know what? The Supreme Court is running interference in us being able to get to those places that this country was before the Supreme Court became such an active participant in the changing the values and the culture of this country. So I got 2 recommendations. 1, term limits for the Supreme Court. Number 2, take away this judicial review. That's my preference. We need to take away that judicial review paradigm that they have in the. It's nowhere in the Constitution.
Right.
It needs to be. We need to be just like the Democrats did when they come up with this idea of inequality, marriage inequality. Okay, they changed the Constitution.
They just make up words.
The Supreme Court did.
Yeah,
the Supreme Court allowed them to change the Constitution that said that a man and a woman is what gets married.
It's oppressive.
Yeah.
A man and a woman get married. That's oppressive.
Yeah.
We suppressing the people that want to marry, that love each other.
Yeah.
A man and a man, and a dog and a man.
Yeah.
That's what it's leading to.
Well, see,
if the people had an understanding of their Constitution to begin with, they wouldn't allow this to happen, because the Supreme Court is mandated to interpret the law. Okay, so let's say we allow these 9 judges to give us their interpretation. It is then the right of the people and the duty of the people to make the law correct through legislation, through the voting.
Yeah.
It doesn't say in the Constitution that if the Supreme Court happens to interpret one sentence to mean another thing than what we believe it means, that all of a sudden that sentence gets changed.
Yeah.
That's
but
not
see,
how
it's
it
two
works.
different interpretations going on out there. Liberals interpret the Constitution as a living, breathing, Constitution, and we interpret the Constitution as it was written.
Right.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be.
Absolutely,
it's supposed to be the law. It is supposed to be the roadmap, and you got everything in there. If you don't like a law, you got the mechanism to change it. But why should it be that the liberals can put up a piece of legislation, get it passed through Congress, and then the Supreme Court tells you that the law that's been law for thousands of years is unconstitutional? Let's put this law in.
Well, that's right.
What they've done.
And that's exactly right. That's what I'm saying. If they interpret something, well, then let the people decide if that interpretation is correct. Because this is a country based upon the rule of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Exactly right.
It is the government by the consent of the people
that they govern.
That's right.
And so when California decided that they wanted marriage between a man and a woman, the Supreme Court knocks that down, and not only knocked down California, but they added 9 other states. And so how is
and they took it legislatively to the people multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was 3 times they took it to the people, and the people stood for marriage.
That's right.
Stood for marriage 3 times.
And Obama was at the head of the thing as the president. He was at the head of the ballot, and they still went past him and voted overwhelmingly that marriage would be between
and just like Kentucky, the people of Kentucky, overwhelmingly 70% of the people in Kentucky voted to protect marriage as between a man and a woman, and that's the law that Kim Davis was protecting.
And so, when the Supreme Court does lawless acts such as knocking down California and Kentucky's law, they perpetuate this idea of political correctness, which Donald Trump addressed, but he didn't address it to the fact that authority for this political correctness comes from the Supreme Court. Because look at Bruce Jenner. Bruce Jenner is a man. He walks around telling everybody he's a woman.
Yeah.
But if you say that he is some kind of something wrong with his thinking, then they turn around and ostracize you. And if anybody of any kind of political power or position, they almost have to resign or either accept the fact that Bruce Jenner is a woman.
Yeah,
and he don't even.
It's so profoundly wrong.
He doesn't even believe that he's a woman. He said he's a man. He likes women.
Oh my
so
God.
I mean, now, if I'm not confused, heck, he's more confused than me.
Guys, keep
Matter of fact,
him away from me.
This is something interesting. That the Pope is going to be here next week. The president sent out an invitation to a transvestite, a pro-abortion nun, and a openly gay bishop, to come to the White House to greet the Pope. Yeah. So this right here, folks, this is, I mean, this right, if we don't see that this guy is some serious problems with this guy right here. I mean, he's obsessed with this. Yeah. Turn right around, and he's just the new secretary of our military now is become a first openly gay male.
Wow.
Openly.
Yeah.
And you know what? Our Congress does nothing. 50% of the people in Congress are millionaires. Yeah. Why aren't they using some of their money to create the media that is needed to combat these obscenities that this administration is doing to this country?
And what we talk about in terms of political correctness is, again, this is how they control us. Yeah. I mean, that is and it comes from the Supreme Court. Speaking of which, Derek, how about running that first clip? And we want to quickly.
So I'm really honored by the crowd, and we're going to have some fun now, because instead of making a speech, which I've been doing over and over and over, I want to take questions. Don't we like that, right? Okay. All right, let's start with this group right over here. Come on. Okay, this man, I like this guy.
From White Plains. Amen. Okay.
Amen.
We have a problem in this country. It's called Muslims. We know our current president is one. Right. You know he's not even an American.
We need this
birth
question.
certificate, man. But anyway, we have training camps growing where they want to kill us. Mm-hmm. That's my question. When can we get rid of
We're going to be looking at a lot of different things. And, a lot of people are saying that, and a lot of people are saying that bad things are happening out there. We're going to be looking at that and plenty of other things. Mm-hmm.